All right. Well, I mean, yeah, we have to talk about the winners of the day. The Nashville Predators. They signed Brady Skjei. They signed Jonathan Marchessault. They signed Steven Stamkos. That's two Conn Smythe winners now with Ryan O'Reilly on the roster. And not to be forgotten, Juuse Saros. They signed a contract, $8 million, I believe, and that was a great deal because I think one benefits Igor Shesterkin's conversations, and hopefully that won't be a extreme contract coming the Rangers' way based on that. But also with that, a little bit of drama. They drafted Askarov in the first round a few years back. He's now playing in Milwaukee, their AHL affiliate, and it doesn't look like he's really going to crack the lineup anytime too soon. Now with Saros getting that starting position. But with that, Steve-O, wait, let's talk. I mean, Stamkos, right? Marchessault, Brady Skjei. I want all your thoughts on that.
Well, obviously, they're the biggest winners of the deadlines in my book for sure. And Nashville Predators. I mean, the last few years, when you take a look at a team like Nashville, they really have never been anything flashy, in my mind. We go back 2018, 2017, the dog days of high school when we were there. Nashville, during my lifetime, really, I don't think they were ever flashy. They've had outstanding players, but they never had star power, and now they have that. And I mean, top to bottom. I mean, I saw a stat. It's crazy. They only have, I think, 340 goal scorers in their franchise history. So you throw in there, you have 240 goal scorers potentially. You throw in Steven Stamkos, you have Jonathan Marchessault. I think they're going to click very, very well. It solidifies them up and down the top line, up and down the entire lineup. Oh yeah, not to mention they added Brady Skjei as well. 7 years, I think $50 million. Now I think Brady Skjei, I do think that is a little bit of an overpay and a long-term risk. But I do think in terms of you got Stamkos, you got Marchessault. I think Stamkos was $8 million per year. Marchessault was less than $8. Respectfully, I think those were such great deals. And Brady Skjei in the short term, these next 2 years, I would give Brady Skjei are really going to fit this team in terms of layout. So again, not a fan of the Brady Skjei deal long term, but I think getting Stamkos and Marchessault at the value that they got, I think clearly blows the Skjei deal out of the water for sure.
Yeah, now I think Stamkos and Marchessault automatically make their power play better. And like you said, star power. That's something the Nashville Predators never had. They've won a President's Trophy. They went to the Stanley Cup final. They're becoming a destination. I like the aggressive nature in free agency to go out and it actually reminded me of the 2019 New York Rangers. They drafted Kaapo Kakko in the first round. They signed Artemi Panarin. They trade and sign Jacob Trouba. Now, the Skjei deal actually, to me, mirrors that a little bit. I agree. I think in a few years from now, it's like I never loved Brady Skjei. Now, ironically, ready for this. Brady Skjei takes the mantle from Ryan McDonagh, who gets traded to Tampa. Now, the Nashville Predators had Ryan McDonagh after he won 2 championships in Tampa. He goes back to Tampa, and now Brady Skjei goes from Carolina to Nashville to fill in for Ryan McDonagh again. So that's a little bit of a crazy kind of tree. I agree, though. I like your take on that. And I think it really brings, like you said, star power. I think that's the one thing they didn't have. And I think it's something that can now put them a little bit into that playoff conversation of legit contention. I thought the reason they didn't defeat the Avalanche, or come close in 2022, they really had Philip Forsberg, and that was it on the offensive side of the puck, and they've been slowly building. I also think, again, like the 2019 New York Rangers, they can continue to build and not have a lot of pressure to win now with this team. I think they have great depth. They added firepower, and I thought that was the best thing they could do.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed. And again, you mentioned in your little opening there, when you mentioned Nashville, remember, they got a goaltender that, just like we do in Igor, they have a goaltender that's one of the elites in the league that can really take your team to the next level. And we saw that this past season. There weren't moments where this Nashville offense really took over And you can't sit there and say, oh, well, this Nashville offense was the reason why they got there. No, Saros kept them in majority of the games. They won a lot of games. This is a Nashville team that won a lot of games because Saros kept them in, just like Igor in the Eastern Conference Finals and in the rest of the postseason. Igor kept the Rangers in games, just like Game 3 in Florida. Igor kept the Rangers in a game that they weren't supposed to win because of goaltending. And that's what Nashville has. Throw in their Skjei now on top of Marchessault and Stamkos. Ooh, chives! If I'm a Predators fan, like I can't wait for puck drop. I'm salivating.